So this is the Albatross model, probably the biggest model I think in the UCM armoury. Really love this model. It's one of the things that attracted me to this game. Although I haven't really played a game of Dropzone Commando, I really love the models, I love painting them up. And this is certainly one of the ones that attracted me to the game and the models in the first place. Just really great design, just iconic. I really like it. I won't drone on about that. So what we're interested in is the magnetization here. So this, again at a client request, was in order to magnetize the dropship to the Ferrum model. So to facilitate that, I've put the 3mm circular magnets just at the bottom of the struts here, so on the other side as well, obviously. Now in order to put these on, to glue these on so that they sit flat, I've just had to file down a little bit. There's a little line that pops up, just a little bit of detail that just stops it from sitting flat, and it's a good idea just to file that away so that you can super glue it on and it'll sit flat. Other tip here is that on this model the struts are very thin and they rarely come out of the packet straight. They're kind of bendy. I guess it's from the molding, the casting process. They don't tend to come out straight. They have a flex or a bend in them. So to put them straight, you just need to put them in hot water for about 10 seconds, and then you can straighten them out. Just flatten them on a flat surface like this, and they straighten up quite nicely. By hot water I mean slightly cooled, like cooled for 5 minutes, water from a kettle. You might want to mix that with a little bit of cold water as well. Leave it for a few minutes and then just dip the part in for 10 seconds or so, so that it'll straighten out, and that will sort that out. So what's next? So what I want to show you next is the Ferrum. So here's the beast. They call it in the game, the people that play the game call this the Doom Fridge. To me it looks a bit like the vehicle from the Star Wars movies, the Jawa vehicle, and that's where it seems to have got a lot of its inspiration from. And the idea with this model is it's a kind of an aircraft carrier, a land-based aircraft carrier. I'll show you how that works in a sec. First I want to show you just how I've gone about attaching the Albatross to the Ferrum, how it's going to magnetize. And so you'll see I've used the rectangular magnets again. I've just used 2 magnets throughout the entire build, the 3mm circular and these 5mm rectangular. And all I've done is just glue them on at these points here. What's great again about these models is that the designer has thought about the mounting points for these things, even if it's not, there's no kind of explicit instructions from the company in how to magnetize these things. He's made it easy. These points here line up with these points here, and so these are kind of natural attachment points. So they're just nicely thought through in that way, and so it made it very easy for me to work out how this was all going to attach. And let me demonstrate. Where shall I put this? Put it about here. Let me get the Albatross. Always reminds me of that Monty Python sketch, Albatross. Showing my age there a bit. So yeah, so you're kind of in the shadows here, but you should still be able to see what's going on. There it is. So it's kind of an anticlimax, isn't it? But that is kind of hugging the Ferrum now. So it's, again, I I like elegant solutions, I like solid solutions as well, and this is both of those. This means that it's not going to shake around and it's not going to fall off. Just show you here. Kind of difficult to see, but you can see that where the magnets are making contact at each of these points, and that was really important to me. And that's why I made such a big deal of straightening out those struts. So really pleased with that. Let's just take that off again. But that wasn't the end of the Ferrum story, because it's got another couple of tricks. I suppose the first thing to show you is when this thing is mounted on the Albatross, it still needs to go on the flying stand. And so what I've done there is there is a mounting point on the Ferrum, but I've drilled all the way through there and then stuck a magnet on the inside. This part here actually has to be stuck on, so I've drilled through, stuck the magnet on. You can't really see it through there. There's a magnet inside here. Or if you drill through, you can. There's a kind of a point at which you can stick the magnet on. Again, it's a 3mm circular magnet. I've also put on, I don't know if you can see that, but the widget. The flying models in Dropzone Commander have these widgets to stop the model kind of shaking around so that they sit on the stand properly. And I've used half of a widget here. They're a bit of a nightmare to cut actually, but I managed to cut one in half virtually, and then I glue it on here, and I just wanted that extra stability, and that's turned out to be quite necessary. Once the Albatross and the Ferrum are together, they actually weigh quite a lot. Quite a lot more than you would normally expect to put on the flying stand. Here's the flying stand. There we go. Let me show you how this is going to work. And so, model goes on like that. Let me perhaps bring some more light into the situation. There we go, that's a little bit better. You're not sitting in the shadows now, you can kind of see what's going on. So yeah, so it's still kind of wobbly, but there's so much weight on this little acrylic pole. In fact, this is with the addition of a widget at the bottom of the stand as well. So I've taken a widget, and this isn't something you would normally do, because you're not really talking about huge amounts of weight usually for the models in this game. Typically they weigh less than, each model weighs less than 10 grams. When you combine the Albatross and this model together, they are something like 75 grams plus, and which doesn't, it's not a lot of weight, but it is for these acrylic stands. So let me show you what it all looks like together. Let's take that off. Put on the Ferrum. Okay, I do like that, how that works. Let me show you here, like a proud dad, a proud geeky dad. And so this entire thing now will go on top. Take that light away a bit. It's getting a bit bright. And there you go. There it is. But that's not all. Let me show you what else I've done with the Ferrum. Yeah, so we've got another kind of party trick for this model, which I'm kind of proud of. So fans of the game will know that, as I said before, the Ferrum is kind of a land-based aircraft carrier or drone carrier in this instance. So you have kind of this fold out runway. Try and fit that in there, you can see that I think. And you have this, so when it's deployed it's left the dropship and has this, my hand's in the way, sorry. You also have this as well, and so the control tower comes up, and this lift as well here. There's actually another piece to the model here, a kind of a drone, just to show, just to kind of illustrate the things that fly off this. I haven't got that to hand, but again, fans of the game will know that now. So to make this bit work, I had to do a little bit more work as well, so let me show you that. A couple of elements to this. So to make the whole thing come up and down quite smoothly, I've filed away, well, not filed away, but I've made the edges quite smooth. So it's a tiny, fraction of a millimetre smaller than probably when it arrived in the package, where I've just filed just to make sure it goes up and down quite smoothly. There's a kind of a limitation here. You can only make it work so well, but that's kind of the movement that I wanted. I didn't want anything to get stuck. Occasionally if it goes down at the wrong angle it will kind of get stuck, but that can't really be helped. Now, in order to support that as well, what I've done is just added a little bit of, well, you may recognise that. That's a piece of credit card, an old credit card that was expired. I've taken a piece of that, and that is supporting the link between the control tower and this lift here. I didn't really trust it just to glue it here. I just didn't think that looked solid enough, even though when you stick this resin it's pretty good. I thought this would help. There was also kind of a tiny gap that it wouldn't quite reach properly, and I just didn't trust it, and so this is my solution. A little piece of credit card just cut here, and you won't be able to see that when the model's in the game, and I'm going to obviously paint over that as well. The other thing to help this, and this isn't glued on yet, but the back of the control tower and the back of the actual ferrum, there's a magnet, and so when this rises up it clicks into place on this magnet. So it'll go down and then up again, and so that's the reason it stays up. I did so much filing in these areas here and on the inside as well that it was almost like too smooth, and so the control tower wouldn't stay up by itself. So again, I've just used the exact same rectangular magnets again, just to make sure that the control tower stays up. Let me show you again one more time. And obviously this will be glued on ultimately. So yeah, so runway folds out. This bit comes up, clicks into place. And you have the Doom fridge. One more minor thing, I'm also magnetised the tank tracks as well on each side, just out of a sense of completion as much as anything else, just to make sure that my client could remove those if needs be. I think that's all I want to show you. Let me have a quick look and just see if there's anything else that's interesting, that you might find interesting. But yeah, I think that should hopefully help some of you guys. Thanks again.